Kanagat Bihi and welcome to SUAANGAN. I'm your host, Dennis Allen. Over 2 million Canadians have diabetes. Diabetes happens when our bodies quit producing insulin or we don't properly use the insulin that we produce. And as Aboriginal Canadians, we are at a higher than average risk.
Diabetes is a problem that occurs when parts of the body are not working as well as they could do. And the part of the body that we're talking about, first of all, there's two different types of diabetes. Type 1, which often people will have heard of children getting diabetes and needing to take insulin injections. So type 1, children who develop diabetes and need to take insulin injections, which is slightly different from type 2. But they both involve the pancreas, which is so this is the body, and we've got the lungs here and the heart, and this is the liver. So underneath the liver and the stomach, you can just see it here. And so it's, I'm sure if anybody's butchering caribou, they would know where it is. And that organ produces insulin, and insulin helps the body to use up the carbohydrates which turn into sugar, glucose in the body, and to use it properly and to store it well.
But when we consume too much sugar, the pancreas overloads and we use up all our insulin. Eventually, our pancreas quits producing insulin altogether. One can of pop, for example, has 9 teaspoons of sugar, and that concerns Billy Archie in Aklavik. Billy manages the recycling program there.
Well, it's one of the things need to look at in regards to working with the health center, because there's is a concern amongst Aboriginal communities with diabetes, and seeing the numbers come in at this depot, it kind of raises the question on how much intake, and that's something that I guess the health department's going to have to look into to see what the other side of the coin on this. But this is giving us some idea what is going on, and I'm sure Northern in general would have some true numbers. Back when this program started, they estimated something like 460,000 containers for the community of Aklavik on an annual basis. So we've been open just going on our 4th month, and we're must be getting close to 100,000 containers that we've brought in.
And that concerns Moose Kerr School Principal Velma Ilisiak. Fortunately, they do have a no junk food policy at Moose Kerr.
The result of the policy being in place is that we see our students are more attentive, they're more focused with their assignments. The school environment is much cleaner. We have students who are really, I guess, paying attention to their own health, that we support healthy initiatives. We know diabetes is a big concern in the NWT, and part of the junk food policy, I think, really helps to support that. Over the years, we've had people from the community do diabetes programs, awareness type of programs for our youth. They come into the school and they partner with us, and together we've achieved a lot over the last 5 years.
The reason why I started the Healthy Snack was because the students were bringing in junk food anyway, and so I thought if we sold them these something like this beef jerky and juice, and the monies that we made, we could give it to each class, like $200, and then each class could buy snacks for their class, for the students in their classrooms. And other things too, we make sure that all the monies that's made from the canteen is given back to the students. It's given back in their grad. We raise money for their grad. And we also, like the students who are going to go out swimming to Inuvik, and so we gave them some monies. And then in sports too, sometimes if there's students that's really can't afford to enter free, or need some monies, we give them monies out of the canteen.
What we put into our bodies is what our bodies become. And as the old saying goes, garbage in, garbage out.
I mentioned before that people aren't eating a traditional diet, and even if people think they're eating a traditional diet, they may be eating traditional foods but prepared in a non-traditional way, such as using southern oils or fats. So you have to be wary of how you're preparing your diet and not using too much fat or too much extra carbohydrate. And carbohydrates are the starchy foods, flour, sugar, things like that. And what we try to ask people to be careful of eating is too many well-prepared foods. Things are much better if you make them yourselves and if they're less refined. So instead of eating instant rice, and I know people eat a lot of instant rice here because it's easy to cook, it only takes 5 minutes, it's much better to eat either brown rice, wild rice, or regular rice that takes 10-15 minutes to cook. Or if you're eating a potato, instead of frying them, for example, bake them in the oven and eat them with the skins on, if the skins are good for eating, because that extra fiber has a lot of extra goodness in it, and it takes longer for your body to digest it, which also means that it's a more even amount of carbohydrate, sugar going into your body instead of lots of easy to digest carbohydrates.
When we come back, more from Aklavik and their battle against diabetes. You're watching SUAANGAN, Our Strength, right here on APTN. Welcome back to SUAANGAN, Our Strength, and more from Aklavik and their fight against diabetes, right here on APTN. Student Janita Pascal agrees the no junk food policy helps students focus better on their studies.
There has been a junk food policy here at Moose Kerr School ever since I started in '94, and I support it. It's a good policy for the students at Moose Kerr because of their health and how active they are, and concerned about diabetes. Now we're learning more and more about diabetes, and we're just more concerned about our health.
Billy Archie is still worried about how much sugar people in Aklavik are consuming.
Well, this 2 bags here were done in one day. We opened from Saturday mornings from 10 until 4:30 in the afternoon, and we our biggest numbers was pop cans, and back in November when this program started, they were charging at the stores an extra 10 cents plus, I believe, about 5 cents environment fee, and that's how the program is paying for itself.
So how many cans are in there, like?
You estimate about a bag, just between 3,000 and 4,000. And this is one day's collection.
Nurse Rachel Monday explains what the symptoms of diabetes are.
Diabetes, quite often people will have no symptoms at all. They just might be feeling a little bit fatigued, tired, or just generally under the weather. We do test for it very frequently. If somebody was coming and had a real problem, the things that they might notice would be that they were always thirsty, drinking a lot of water, and going to the bathroom to pee a lot. So if somebody came in saying that they had those symptoms, the first thing we would do would be to check their blood work with a finger prick blood test, to see what their blood sugar level was. And then we might follow that up with blood tests that we send off to the lab in Inuvik, or possibly a little bit further afield too. Most of the blood work is done in Inuvik.
Whoa! Whoa! Okay.
Velma explains how the junk food policy came into play at Moose Kerr School.
The Moose Kerr School staff of the day in 1991, and along with the DEA, agreed and felt that a junk food policy was important. They weaned it in small phases. The first couple of years was just not to bring junk food into the classrooms, but they were allowed to have them at recess. The impact from that was that it still occurred. There was a lot of concern with hyperactivity and students not settling down. So the next step for the policy was to have it not come on the school grounds at all. And since then, and since my tenure here, Moose Kerr should be very proud of its efforts because it's been in place since. And in 2004-05, regionally, BDEC has supported it for all schools in the Beaufort Delta to not have junk food or to have a junk food policy.
The recycling program is a good indicator of what's going on in the community.
Yeah, it's surprising. It's really surprising, especially with the Smirnoff bottles that kind of got us off guard here. But we'll see after a year exactly what the numbers are, and it's a good indicator on what's happening, especially with the pipeline coming. At least we got some baseline information on what exactly is coming into the community, and I think maybe about 80 to 90% of the people are taking part in the program, and again, the kids, to them they're looking forward to Saturday mornings to come in with their containers to cash them in.
Thanks to everybody in Aklavik with this report on diabetes. If you need more information, contact your community health representative. Tommy Thrasher is a popular figure in the Mackenzie Delta. From his unique jig to his storytelling, everybody likes to spend time with Tommy, or Tom T as he prefers. We caught up with him at his home in Tuktiektuk.
This is a spear for when they used to hunt baleen whales in the whaling days way back. My dad grew up in them whaling ships. His dad was a captain in one of those whaling ships at Herschel Island, and he was the last man I seen with a gun like this. It's on a tripod, that gun, and whenever the whale comes, it explodes like shooting a shotgun, and it pushes this out.
Oh, okay.
And this goes into the whale.
Does it barb like a harpoon?
Or
does that kill them?
This is the killing one.
Okay, that goes into their heart, or
kills the whale, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's like a bullet, then,
It's like a bullet, eh?
Oh, I see. Okay.
Some of them they shoot as a float. It's attached to a float, this thing, when it's barbed, and that one gets stuck into the blubber, and with that line and the float is to drag that whale to slow it down. And this is the one they use for killing it with, because it's got no barb, it just goes right into the whale's flesh. And that's the last one I've ever seen. I grew up with this since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
This was patented. It was patented 1885. This was patented.
Mm-hmm.
You see how far back this been?
Yeah.
They used to stay at Herschel Island sometime for 4 years until they fill the ship up with blubber and baleen and meat, and then they go back south to San Francisco. This is where the whaling ships used to be. And I'm gonna keep this forever, this is one of a thing, Yeah, you'll never see again, Yeah, and
good.
My dad was an old whaler, sailor, grew up in the sailing ships with his dad, and from there he met my mother, and that's where we came from. My dad and my mom, my first mom, my real mother. And this is...
Who she's holding?
She's holding Agnes, my sister.
Yeah.
And this is Billy Rubin's wife.
Yeah, Bertha.
Bertha Rubin, the one that was in the Northern Games every summer. And she won lots of...
Good woman
prizes too.
Yeah.
And this is my other sister, Mary. She is married to Edgar Kudukak.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's my brother, George.
Oh, yeah.
These two have passed on.
Oh, I see. And that was your dad?
This is my dad.
Okay.
You could see how big he was. He shot that gun without the tripod.
Oh, yeah, yeah, just right on his shoulder.
Still just about knocked him over.
Yeah.
SUAANGAN, Our Strength, will be right back with more from Tom T and Taktiaktak right here on APTN. Welcome back to SUAANGAN, Our Strength, and more from Tom T and Taktiaktak right here on APTN.
One day I found out it was going to be her birthday.
Oh, yeah. Right on.
And I thought to myself, oh yeah, I gotta give her something for birthday.
Yeah.
And I had a workshop outside of my other house, and I thought to myself right away, gee, I could make her something. So I started up in the evening, and before midnight I had all these made.
Yeah.
That's for her birthday, so nobody gets these. It's a different size, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah.
For cutting whale meat and
Yeah.
dry fish. And
Yeah.
this is for sewing, sewing stuff. So I keep
Boy, that's nice.
I keep myself busy in the winter and make these things for like sail, and
Yeah.
this is the kind we use in the delta, you know, for hooking lash.
Oh, yeah.
Even in the coast here,
Yeah.
made out of caribou horn.
Do you make those in the winter time?
Yeah, spare time.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing to
Oh,
do.
the caribou horn?
Caribou horn, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A piece of snare wire.
Yeah. Oh, they like that?
They like this. You put the bait there.
Yeah.
Piece of a fish up under the jaw.
Yeah.
Piece of skin, and you put it in there, and this leather here makes sure that it doesn't slip out.
Yeah.
So, and then the fish like the smell of the fish. They get caught.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah. After I got married to Lucy from Fort McPherson, I see how Indian people work, and this is what they use for scraping hide, made out of caribou leg. You know, keep like.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You keep these things for life,
Yeah.
you know.
Is that from the shin?
That's a caribou arm.
Oh, the arm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you just split it, or?
I just split with a handsaw,
Yeah.
and then.
Oh, yeah. You sell those, or you just?
I've had some. I've sold some.
Yeah.
But these I keep for myself.
Oh, yeah,
So if
souvenirs, yeah.
anybody wants some more, they could ask me to make it for them. I found this on a beach here, just below my house. I think it belonged to Diamond Klinkenberg. And what they do with this, when you're standing on the ice in open water over here, you shoot your sealer. And this is tied to a long rope, sealskin rope, and you toss it, and this gets these nails hooks a sealer.
Oh, yeah.
That way you pull a seal in the shore. Or you could use it for anything. If you see driftwood going over further, you could throw that and pull that wood in.
Oh, yeah.
It's made for that now, retriever like.
Yeah.
Them days, I guess they didn't have retriever dogs. They used these. And this is a stick for knocking fish out.
Oh, yeah.
Found that along the shore too.
Oh, yeah.
And she found this way inland when it was real high water, I guess. It drifted out there. And keep things like that.
Yeah.
And this is how they used to make floats long ago. Net floats.
Oh, okay. Is that from that real soft driftwood? Or?
Soft, you know, cottonwood.
Oh, yeah.
It's real light and it don't get wet fast.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of holes there to tie to the net.
Yeah.
These are as we grew up in the Delta, and I've seen these in pictures, and I've seen my brother Billy Reuben made them small ones. But I thought.
Just wait, I'm just in your light. Just wait. I'll go over here. Okay, you can just stand and okay, right there.
Because after I seen it, I always make one for me first, So I made that one up there for my souvenir. And the rest now, if people go to Husky Lake and they want to use it while they're hooking it, they spear the fish with this.
So how do they do it? They just chisel a hole and they just
like a jiggling hole.
Yeah.
Or sometime late in the spring, there's cracks in Husky Lake, big cracks.
Yeah.
And you jiggle through that crack.
Oh, okay.
And there's quite a few people, they lose a big fish.
Oh, yeah. So this is after you hook it?
This is after it's caught in a hook. You could spear it that way, it doesn't get away.
Oh, yeah.
And it's got spring to it, see, look.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I see, yeah.
And then it could
twist either way.
Twist either way to get it off the. And you notice
there's no knot.
There's not a knot in this place.
Okay.
It's like a whole sailor man's knot there without a knot.
How did you do that?
Just figured it out.
Oh, yeah. Nobody taught you, or you just figured it out?
I learned from my dad.
Oh, yeah, I see, okay.
See, there's not a knot on either end. The other end here, too, is done the same way.
Oh, I see, okay.
There's no knot at all. Solid. So now, if anybody wants one of these, they know where it is,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Start another trend up here.
Yeah.
Harpooner.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tommy. That was Tom T of Tuktiaktuk, Mr. T. Well, that was our show for this week. We hope you enjoyed it. Kuyinak, Dautuk Dua Kafi, SUAANGAN Mik. Until next time, I'm your host, Dennis Allen, Iluvialuit.
All over town that you've been seen, I'm running around. I know that I should leave, but then I love you, you will. This heart of mine could never see what everybody just right was my reason. What can I do? You will. I'm sorry for you make them now. But soon he said, like my own mind, he gave his heart, but only me. And someday say you will again. You have no heart, you have no soul. It takes true love to give the man. I guess that I should not complain. I love you, you will again. Right on. Right on. Get your heart out, Hank, will you? Yeah.